You know, for me growing up, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, fondly known as the NAACP, was always in the news for some of the great things they were doing for people that look like me and so many others. But even when the headlines slowed down, that doesn't mean that the work did. It continues. And today I want to highlight the NAACP in Vancouver, Washington, and see how they mixed the legendary history of the organization with new school action. Now that's the situation. So join the conversation right now.
Situations and conversations with Renee. Situations and conversations with Renee. Real situations, real conversations. Empowering the community leads to elevation. Entertainment and education, no better time than now.
Hey, welcome to Situations and Conversations. I'm your host, Renee, and so appreciate you for joining me today. My team and I are actually on location in Vancouver, Washington at the office of the NAACP for an important conversation. While Dr. King and so many of our great civil rights leaders may no longer be with us, we still have pillars in place that are holding up the foundation of our community. I am here with one of them, Miss Yolanda Frazier, president of the NAACP Vancouver Branch, and we are going to talk about the history of this great organization and some of the exciting things they're cooking up for the summer. Yolanda, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, and thank you so much for being here, Renee. This is a blessing. I am so ecstatic. This has never been done before. And as you said, NAACP started in the early 1900s.
Yes, tell us about the history of the organization.
Yes, sis, it started, you may know this, I may be preaching to the choir, but it started in the basements of our Black churches. So when our families, our forefathers and foremothers were being lynched just from walking into a store or looking at someone, we needed a safe place to go. And that was always the pillars of our churches, the basements of our churches. So everything from haircuts to just being camaraderie with our people to protecting our civil rights all began in the basements of our Black churches. And I will tell you that today, our general NAACP, Vancouver, Washington, chapter 1139B.
Yes.
Meetings are held in a local Black church here at Community AME Zion.
Wow.
In
really?
Vancouver, Washington. And I will also let the entire audience know that this chapter began back in 1945. So, of course, I wasn't born, but the Lord, the man upstairs, knew who would be sitting in this chair and in that chair today.
Today, right?
Today.
Who knew? Now, that's so good because I want to know what led you to be a part of this historic organization. I mean, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
Say it.
Still holding on to the colored people's name, by the way, which, you know, some people are like, oh, I don't know about all that.
Yes. And let me just tell you, thank you so much for actually explicitly verbalizing and saying what that acronym is. And let me say it again. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Yes. See, you and I know way back then we were known as colored folks or colored people.
For sure. My grandmother she used to say that all the time. She'd be like, you know, that little colored gal down the street, and I would go, ooh, I get a little bit in my soul, you know, because we've been, you know, called so many things over the years.
So many things, but I will tell you, we still hold that near and dear, and that's beautiful, that your beautiful and lovely grandmother still refers to us as colored people. We were called colored people. We were called Negroes. We were called other N-words. Then it was Blacks. Then it was African American.
Afro-American over a hairstyle, which still trips me out.
Say it. And then now I refer to our demographics as the African American diaspora of our communities, because we are mixed in so many beautiful ways. But our ancestors, you know, our roots come from Africa.
That's correct.
And so here we are today. And it is a blessing. It's a privilege to be even the president, 100% elected as our NAACP president back in late 2022. Okay. This is a 2-year reign. And I will tell you, Trey, that I have moved some needles We haven't climbed mountains. We've went around mountains.
Okay.
And we've created new trajectories for people that look like you and I, for my husband, my 4 kids, my grandchildren. And this is how we do it today. So we were founded to protect and own our civil rights. But there's so much that has blossomed out of that. So each local branch across the country focuses on different committees underneath the NAACP branch. And we have a plethora, a myriad of committees. And this is how we get our work done. Everything from health inequities, health disparities. We'll talk about that, about our first inaugural NAACP Black Women's Health
Yes,
Walk.
very excited about that.
We talk about things within the political realm. You know, we have to stay focused on that and what's being
Very
passed and not
important.
passed in our legislature that
Yes.
affects our families. We talk about things in the legal arena. We have a legal affairs committee. We also have an AXO committee that focuses on our Black youth. We have an education committee, which focuses on an education representative that goes out to our Title I schools. That's where you see you and my children at. So I can go on and on about our different committees, but what I want people to know and understand that the NAACP, of course, was founded in Black churches to protect our civil rights when mayhem was going on around us. And it was in the basement of our Black churches that we were taught and groomed to not have the police us, but let us walk in lock force with them, but we police our own environment.
Yes.
And this is how we do it on a highly dynamic level. And so I am blessed by my Lord above to be sitting here to even talk about my rights, because we're born with human rights.
Amen.
And so when someone tells me, oh, I gotta ask to drink out of this water fountain, or I'm not good enough to apply for this job, or when I fill out an application, because I check that, I know that I will not be called upon for that job. When I understand that, I go back to the drawing board. And that is, again, protecting my civil rights. And so there's a lot that's been done. There's a lot that we're doing. And there's so much more that we have to continue to do. We cannot just stand on the shoulders of our wonderful forefathers and foremothers, but we have to continue to push that envelope because our rights are always being justified and always being almost snipped away from
Well,
us.
not almost. I mean, if you look at things now, I mean, it feels like we had quite a bit of progress, right? And then, I'm not naming any names, but now it's like we are in the fight of our lives.
We're always.
Literally and figuratively in these streets.
Yes.
Just for being colored people.
Have you ever heard driving while Black?
Of course.
Have you ever heard talking while Black?
Of course.
Okay, well, all that sums up is to living while Black. And so we look at 2020, 3.5, almost 4 years ago, and we look at the pandemic. And what was always often said was, wait a minute, we've been dealing with an epidemic, a pandemic all of our lives just by being in this beautiful skin that we're blessed to be in. So we saw COVID and we saw our people either, trusting the vaccine or not. For logical reasons. We know that. We won't go off on that tangent. But then when they did enter the ER or their PCP or their OBGYN's office, their doctors were surprised about the underlying chronic health conditions that they had. Well, the basis for that is racism. The reason why our people have chronic conditions, one, they're not privy to the jobs to allow or afford them that optimum, not mediocre, but optimum health care. People look for jobs with benefits, right?
Right.
And so a lot of our people, they're not given the jobs that they're due to have that health care. And then when they do get that, Renee, they enter the hospital or the medical room, they don't see us. And so then there's that other barrier. So we're fighting, like you said, we in these streets, we fighting all the time. We have these situations where we can't even show up and be us. And that's where I step in as the president. I create equitable environments. You see, a long time ago, equity was synonymous with the financial industry. but they wanted to dub it and make it trendy. And now equity is synonymous with providing equitable environments, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And how do we do that? To ensure that people that look like us is included. We can sit at the table. Not just sit, we can move our chair at the table.
Right.
We can eat. We're going to be eating today.
And eat well.
And eat well.
Thank you.
And decide
Yeah.
what we eat. Because a lot of times interventions, and really they're solutions. You know, the clinical world likes to talk about them as interventions. But these solutions, they design without us in mind. So while you're over there designing an intervention, ask your sis Yolanda, ask your sis Stray Renee, how do we want this intervention to look? How do we want this vaccine to be let out into our communities? And so that's where I come in. I create these very equitable trajectories and pathways. No more of doing things their way. It's time that we step in and we do it like this.
And I love this about you, and this is exactly one of the reasons why you and I connected off top when we met, and why we are both sitting here today, because
Yes.
you are the type of president who leads by example and also have ideas and innovations and events in mind. And so that's a perfect segue into what's coming up next. You don't move a muscle and you don't move either. We're coming right back with more here at the NAACP Vancouver Branch with President Yolanda Frazier. We're going to be talking about a fabulous event coming up this summer, so don't go away.
My name's Yolanda Frazier. I am your elected president of our local NAACP Vancouver, Washington branch, 1139. I'd like to just share with you a little bit about why you should join our local branch. First and foremost, the NAACP was founded in the early 1900s in the basement of Black churches to really suss out our communities and what we can do to stop racism and, most importantly, fight for our civil rights. I want you to know that as your president, it is of utmost importance. It is an imperative that you think about joining our branch. So thank you so much. And I want to say that you all should have a blessed day, not just today, but every day.
Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Oregon Health Authority, helping people and communities achieve optimum physical, mental, and social well-being.
If you are sitting there watching this video right now, and if you're thinking about what you can do to end and eradicate all disparities and inequities for our Black and Brown people, then you need to be involved in some type of capacity with our local NAACP branch.
All right, family, we are back. Thank you for hanging with us here on Situations and Conversations. I am still here with the president of the NAACP Vancouver Branch, Yolanda Frazier. And now it's time for us to discuss a very exciting event that you have been cooking up, telling me about it for a while now. You're like, look how you perk up with the shoulders. Let the people know what's going on this summer.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution, for you being a part of such a legendary movement.
Oh.
This has never, ever, ever been done.
Yes, it's
here.
the first inaugural.
Yes, it is. Drum roll. It is our first inaugural NAACP Black Women's Health Walk. Yes, yes.
Just for us.
Just for us. And this is what I mean about creating trajectory.
Yes.
You know, we have the highest healthcare and health just resources disparities and inequities.
Still.
Not just in little old Portland and Southwest Washington. Not out here on the Wild, Wild West, sis, but across the country, across the globe. Black women that look like you and I have a higher chance of dying when they give birth. So we experience the highest maternal mortalities. Yeah. Even in the maternal child healthcare space, we experience the highest disparities across each domain of healthcare, whether it's chronic conditions, whether it's physical or any type of behavioral health, across the continuum. We are still the outliers when that data is being looked at. And so what I wanted to do, which is what I always do so lovely, is put on a walk that really, really focuses on us. And it's designed, it's curated by us. Okay, so
Yes.
you will see us on Saturday, June 1st, yourself and myself.
For sure.
And a lot of other lovely women, Black and just BIPOC and all sorts of women.
Yes.
In the name of Black women's health. And so we'll take a 15 or 20 minute walk down the Vancouver waterfront, the new sprawling promenade.
It's gorgeous over there.
It is. We'll start at the AC Hotel.
Nice.
And we'll take a little 15 cruise around walk. We'll come back. We'll meet in a general meeting room. We'll have speakers that will specifically talk about our Black women's health. And the reason why I'm starting at the matriarchs of our communities is because we're the ones who give life. We
You
give
say
life.
say it louder for the people in the back.
We give life.
Yes, we do. Let's toast to that.
We have to toast. sis.
We give
Beautiful.
life.
We give life.
And
This is water.
that's right. We need anything stronger and we'll be here all day. Because clearly you can see we're a vibe.
Yes.
But on that day,
Yes.
I am so excited. I remember when we
Yes.
first started talking and you were like,
Yes.
Trey, I really want to do this walk. And,
Yes.
you were like, I'm not so sure how to. And I was like, you can do it. We can do it.
Yes.
I will
Yes.
be there. And sure enough, we are inching our way closer
Yes.
to June 1st.
Yes.
Now, this is free for people.
This is, of course, free. Whatever I do is free. Remember, I'm all about creating equitable environments.
That is correct.
And I should say, I'm so glad you said that too, but also accessible environments. See, we always ask our people to show up. We're always pulling something from them. When do we give back? When do we continually pour into them? And this is how I like to do it. Let's talk about us. Salt and Pepper had another song. Let's talk about something else. But I wanna talk about us. And I love Salt and Pepper. I love this.
Well, let's be real about
Okay.
this. What they were talking about, let's talk about sex, is
Yes.
also part of
There it
being
is.
a woman.
Say it.
And our own health.
Yes.
There's health and wellness in all of
Would
that.
you say
And
it?
I love that you're going to have speakers and people that we can actually
Yes.
reach out to and ask questions of
Yes.
after we get our little walk on. So this is good because my trainer's going to love
And
this.
free food too.
Right? Oh, well,
I forgot.
I don't know
that.
if my trainer's gonna
And
love that part so
raffles.
much because I can eat, but the cardio part on the front end and then the hanging out and camaraderie and asking
Yeah.
of the questions and the food on the back end, you're also gonna have some prizes.
We will. We'll be giving away some raffles, some prizes. And that's important to me. I like gifts. I like
not?
to eat too. And I work out alone. I gave birth to 4 kids in 6 years consecutively. Every other
Now I
year.
do want something stronger than water real quick.
And so these guns used to be more than what they were. But I will tell you, my latest career has me Zooming all the time. So I don't get to work out as much as I want. And I will tell you, back when I was wind chair, many, many years ago for this local NAACP. And I should tell you that acronym stands for Women in the NAACP.
Okay, because I was like, what is that? Okay.
Because we winning. We
Yes.
do win.
I love that. Yes,
And I
indeed.
put on a plethora of different webinars. We were in the whole COVID stage. So if you Google me, you will see different webinars. And I did have one where I had a Black doctor come on and speak specifically, a Black woman doctor, speak holistically and specifically about our Black women's health. And what do we need to start doing so that we could be here, sis, longer on this earth? For our husbands, for our children, for our grandchildren, for our sisters, for our friends, for our neighbors. So we're going to have a little fun walk. Nothing too out of breath. There's no 5K. We're not doing that today.
Because we certainly
My-
did
my
talk about
hair-
that.
You let me know.
I
Look here,
did.
we're going to do a little walk, Yolanda. And this is how we're going to do that.
I think it started with me saying, so how long you talking about
Yes.
walking? How far? Because I want to baby step my way through this first inaugural, and then we can get to it.
Then we'll have a real walkathon. Yes. But
yes.
this is just to bring us together.
Yes.
So this is the initial piece of us coming together and celebrating us. And no, we're not a very celebratory group of people because we're always smacked in the face with healthcare and health disparities.
Yeah.
And so I want to shine a light. Yes, there are disparities, there are inequities when it comes to Black women, but what are we doing? And my doctor told me I am the picture, the face of health. But I will tell you, sometime in 2020, after seeing George Floyd with a knee on his neck, my blood pressure skyrocketed. And I can be transparent about that because I gave birth to one beautiful daughter, and then after giving birth to her, 3 handsome sons. And to see George Floyd lying on the ground crying for his mother. I could not sleep. And so a lack of sleep affects your blood pressure. It affects your eating habits. And now we know, as clinicians and non-clinician folks, whatever you do mentally, whatever's mentally going on, affects your physical health. That is your whole health.
Exactly.
So we will be talking about that because way back when, it's always, work out, watch your diet, yada, yada, yada. No, what's going up in here and here affects your overall health. And we need to sing that from the rooftop, from the mountaintops.
It's true.
Look, sis, working out every day just ain't gonna get it.
It's not enough.
How are you feeling about yourself? Who are the people that you dare to even let in your space?
That's a big one. That's a big one.
That affects your overall health.
I'm so excited. I almost want to start walking right now before the people even get, it's not even June 1st and I'm ready. And everybody knows I'm halfway lazy. So for me to be ready, this is exciting.
You don't look lazy.
This is
you
exciting.
You getting it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, sis. I appreciate that.
I love it.
So what time are people to start gathering at the AC Hotel?
Yes, please come no earlier than 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay.
And the reason why I say because I'll be on my time. I'm not going to say the other one.
Let me just say this much about Miss Yolanda Frazier, okay? She's going to make sure that she is looking and feeling her best before she steps out into the world, okay? And I appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
And I already know that if you say 10-ish.
Don't be coming
That's
early.
about right. That's about right. That's
because
about right.
my mom and dad would have us at church so early, and then they had that what is it, the Sunday school before church.
Oh yes.
And look here. And it goes back to our ancestors. I'm just gonna say it, color people time. But I met someone from one country in Africa, and he said, "My beautiful Yolanda, know that you're going back to your roots." See, way back when, we didn't have beautiful watches and beautiful clocks. So we went out into the fields and we worked and we ate organically. That's why we don't got all these diseases that Black African Americans have here in the States. So our everything, we decided what we wanted to eat. If we wanted fish, we'd walk down to the river. We'd tell the fishermen, or we have our kids or our husband go and fish, and they would go fish. But we worked, we knew what to do based on the sun, from sun up to sun down. And so that's why I'm late. I look at the sun.
So then you're not late. You're not late at all.
There it is.
Then we're right on time. This is what my mother used to say. The function doesn't start until I arrive.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that may sound
do
funky to some, but to me,
that's how we're
sounds
doing
just
this
about
today.
right. So this is good. But we do have to be mindful of some of the time. Because we do want to start and be able to get, So don't arrive any earlier than 10 a.m. on Saturday, June 1st at the AC Hotel, Vancouver.
Yes.
And then we're going to start walking around 11.
No,
or 10:30. What are we doing?
I would say around 10:05. I want to greet the people.
Oh, you're not playing around. You want us to arrive, park, and hit it.
Yes, okay. I want us to, and thank you so much for asking that. I want us, to arrive. I'll give you a t-shirt. I may have some t-shirts. I won't say everything that I may or may not have. But I'll give you a little something. And then we'll take a little walk.
Okay.
And we'll come back, and then we will convene in a meeting room. Because I want to feed everybody, and I want to give everyone gifts. Gotcha. And we'll have speakers come up and talk and whatnot. And if you do miss that little 15-minute walk, that's okay. We can walk afterwards.
Okay.
And
so we're flexible.
Yes. Just know that you will be sitting at the table with your elected president, and you
Oh, yes.
The most wonderful Trey Renee, and you will be embraced by your people, and that's really what I want to do.
Well, I love it. I want to embrace. I mean, this is what we do every week on the show
Yeah.
here. That's the whole point of situations and conversations. It's supposed to feel like one big old bear hug after we have a very serious conversation about the
Yes.
situations that are going on that are
Yes.
impacting us every day.
Yes.
And the NAACP as a whole, and in particular, your branch here, the Vancouver branch, is out here. Each one, teach one, reach one.
Say it.
And each of us are going to be getting our walk on.
Yes.
So again, you guys, the information is on the screen. We have links, we have QR code, we have all the things for you to make sure that you can take part in this first inaugural
Yes.
Black Women's Health Walk
Yes.
from the NAACP Vancouver
Putting
Branch.
it down.
We're going to be at the waterfront. It's going to be beautiful. You do not want to miss it. We're going to have a blast and also get some information.
Yes.
And connect, because that's what it's all about.
It's all about connection, and that's one of the things why people live for a very long time. God created us to connect. And people forget that.
Well, they're not now.
know?
Not
So-
now.
So we gotta be connected.
We're going to connect then, and we love that you
Yes.
connected with us now. Yolanda, thank you so much for allowing us into
you.
your office space,
Yes.
into your home here at the NAACP,
Yes,
and
it's a
hopefully
blessing.
we get more people to get involved, young
Yes.
people,
Yes.
elders, whoever's not already involved. Let's get it going. And if you need more information, that is also going to be on your screen. But you can get all that also at this fantastic walk
Yes.
on June 1st. Again, more information on your screen. Please do make sure you join us. Thank you, Yolanda. Love you, my sister.
I love you more.
Oh, thank you. And I love you all for watching. You know
Yes.
this. But before we go, you know what I'm going to say. Make sure you take excellent care of yourselves, because that's the only way we're going to be able to take care of anybody else,
There
which
it
is
is.
our mission. When you think me, think we. When you think you, think two. We'll see you next time.
Hi there, this is Yolanda. I'm so excited that all of you will be joining us this upcoming Saturday, June 1, for the first inaugural NAACP walk. I am so looking forward to this, and I cannot wait to see and greet each and every one of you. Hoping you all have a blessed day.
Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Oregon Health Authority, helping people and communities achieve optimum physical, mental, and social well-being. And thanks to Tabiba Styles for hair and makeup glam, as well as Adorn Boutiques for my wardrobe. Situations and Conversations with Trey Renee is shot on location at Louisa Event Space in Portland. Situations and Conversations with Trey Renee is a Bum Juice Entertainment production in conjunction with Thomas Chung Films, Bloom Beauty Collective, and Allen and Unger Consulting Group. Situations and Conversations with Trey Renee. Watch Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Fox 12 Plus.